Hello and welcome to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to talk about how you can loot seaforts in Sea of Thieves and go undetected. So, let's begin. In Sea of Thieves, players take on the roles of pirates in a multiplayer setting, scouring the open sea for treasure while battling other players in PvP and co-op modes. Players can work together in crews up to 4 or set sail solo, accepting quests and voyages from a variety of companies. These voyages and quests typically involve travelling to new locations to acquire new trade goods, fighting skeletons, or hunting new animals, fish, or other beasts. The goal is to become a legendary pirate by working your way up the ranks of numerous trading companies and amassing a fortune in gold. So, how do you become a legendary pirate? Well, you do so by accumulating the most amount of gold. Where is gold found? Obviously in seaforts. The first seaforts emerged from the mines of the Sea of the Damned, but they took no material shape. Captain Flameheart was able to fully manifest these forts with the Sea of Thieves after the events of the Shrouded Islands, and the destruction of the Soul Flame Captain cemented the connection between the living and the dead. These forts are guarded by phantoms that are devoted to Flameheart and operate as his jailers, holding humans prisoners such as those from Golden Sands Outpost who vanished after the events of the Shrouded Islands. The Fort of the Forgotten Mission freed these captives, so this is where our story begins. The pirate in question is a young woman aged somewhere in her late 20s. She has a golden yet ashy complexion, and her weapon of choice is a sniper rifle. Delph is her name. This pirate had decided that she wanted to rule the seas and become the most powerful. However, she would have to amass the largest amount of treasure. As she's planning her next raid, a sea fort appears on the horizon. She decided to take the fort on alone. As the ship approaches the fort, the pirate sees that the flag is raised and the ghostly lights are emanating from the fort. The pirate maneuvers her ship towards the fort to avoid the oncoming cannon fire, but the closer you get to the fort, the more cannons that are going to fire on you. These cannons have very bad aim, so the pirate isn't worried. But occasionally, 1 or 2 of these cannon balls hit, which leads to minimal damage to the hull, but once again, all damage is fixable. To avoid detection, the pirate scuttles her ship. This is basically a way to sink your ship and respawn at a random location. On reaching the shore, the pirate jumps off her ship. Once her feet touch the ground, a horde of phantoms show up. They try to use their large numbers to overpower the pirate, but her unmatched skill fends them off. Wave after wave of phantoms follow, but all of them are expertly killed and sent off to the Netherrealm. However, despite all her skills, one of these phantoms manages to land a blow. The wound isn't much, but it causes a little discomfort. Now it appears to be the last wave of phantoms, because accompanying them is what appears to be the seafort captain. He appears larger than all the other phantoms, and he has a menacing vibe to him. The pirate faces him head on. The two exchange blows, but the captain seems unfazed. It appears that this is going to be a long fight. Or is it? Again and again, the pirate and the captain rush at each other, each trying to gain the upper hand. Finally, the pirates land a fatal blow, and the captain crumbles on the ground and disappears. He appears to drop a sort of key that could only mean that there is a treasure in the fort. The pirate then picks up the key and starts to head on to the fort. She enters the fort, and the air inside stands still, almost as if the fort were a creature, and it had held its breath to see what would happen. The pirate first heads down to the latest room of the fort, as she knows that this is the room where she will find the treasure. She places the key at the door and turns it. The door swings open, and inside is a plethora of ghostly and regular items. She takes what she needs and leaves the rest, and then moves on to explore the other parts of the fort. During her explanation, she happened upon another key, hidden beside a bed, and puts it in her pouch, thinking it could come in handy later. In the kitchen, the pirate finds food and drink and prepares more food for the journey ahead. The pirate then moves onto the upper floors, where she finds another locked room. Suddenly, she remembers that she has another key with her, and opens the lock to find another smaller chest. She opens it and finds some more treasure. After this, she finally goes into the main room to rest. During all this time, the pirate could not help herself but feel that something had been watching her. It had almost been like a shadow. Once or twice, she could almost swear that she heard the sound of someone moving a cannon around the corner. But whenever she rushed to the point there had been a sound, nothing was there. But our pirate still believed that something was off about this fort, and she was not alone. took her, perhaps? After resting, the pirate decides to take a look at the wall-mounted map table in the kitchen. The map allowed her to see her current position in relation to all nearby islands, and she set about charting a new course to further her own wealth. She sang and celebrated around the fort, eating and drinking and not having a care in the world, when she spotted on the horizon a fellow pirate. But they sailed on by, and she thought to herself, they must be worrying about their duties. She even took the time to look for the treasures hidden on the fort, as she knew that the previous residents must have hidden some of their treasures or ammo pouches all over the fort. After she is done, the pirate swims to the nearest merm. Once again, she's back aboard her glorious Delphinus dancer. She starts to set sail towards one of the nearest forts that she had found on the map. Once again, the cannons fired at her. Once again, she was victorious. With every victory, the wealth of the pirate grew, and each time she felt the presence behind her, watching her every step of the way. Finally, she told herself that she was just being paranoid, and then sat down on her chair and started to look at the wealth she had gathered. She thought about all the battles and remembered the ones she had narrowly escaped. After all, the seas was a treacherous place. Many of the pirates had sunk thinking that they were invincible. She hadn't made those mistakes. She had avoided going toe-to-toe with pirates bigger than her size, and her patience and hard work had finally paid off. She was now a wealthy pirate, and the region would quake at her name. So that's all that we had time for today, my dolphin dancers. I hope this story showed you how you can obtain lots of loot whilst being undetected in Sea of Thieves. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and do hit that notification icon on your way out. See you all